Thank you for submitting questions. There were a lot, and we consolidated them, and just due to time, we'll address a couple of them from themes. The first theme is the industry and how it relates to what's happening in Japan. And the second, which you'll see in a moment, is women empowerment. And your lead facilitator is Amber. So yeah, we'll have to pass the mic a bit when we need to address the question.
Okay, so because we don't have a lot of time, so we will just talk about the questions that most people asked. And the first one is, how is crypto in Japan? So market, so government policies. Mai, do you want to take the question? Midori?
Yeah. Yes, the Japanese are major players in the cryptocurrency world, and one reason is the Japanese government had established a legal framework for cryptocurrency exchanges before other countries, and there has been an environment where people could enter with peace of mind. So the domestic outlook on investment may have cooled off due to the incident back in January. There was a very unfortunate incident in January, as you know. But I hope we can continue to be the leading country in the cryptocurrency world. But actually, after January, I think the mood has changed. And I think the Japanese government should be very strict for cryptocurrency exchanges. I think this is rational, and we need to be very, very strict for financial rules, because we have a lot of clients' assets. But still, we are the leading country in cryptocurrency world, and we'd like to be still number one country in this area.
Thank you. Does anyone want to add any comments? No? Okay. Okay. And the next would be number 4. There's a lot of noise around blockchain. How can we focus on most important aspects of blockchain?
What kind of noise?
Mai, do you want to take the question?
Okay, I will try. Okay. The noise is such thing. For example, everyone only care about to make money. It is very noisy. And so bad. I have a friend who think about to use social impact project. I think I have many now, and so it will be changed this noise. Delete. I hope. Sorry, my English.
Just very quickly, I think I agree with what Mai said, and I like to look at the people. I invest in startups as well, and it's always, especially in early stage, it's about the people as well. So when you look at projects, I look at what are their motivations for this team, why are they working on this project, and have they worked together, and is it really for creating a social impact or not? And I think that helps filter out the noise.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you. And number 5, what other fields can collaborate with blockchain? For example, data science, government, logistics, etc. I think Una, you'd be the best person to.
I'd be happy to quickly answer that, because I think that in my personal kind of interest, I'm not that interested in tokens and values and exchanges as much as the other speakers here. I'm really interested in the underlying technology. And also with all the initiatives that we have done, the event that I invited you to next week is in agriculture. It's an agri-tech event. But blockchain plays a very big role in that because of the whole technology. It's decentralized, it's very trackable, it's very accessible as well to people. And for agri-tech specifically, for example, supply chain plays a big role. So you can implement blockchain technologies to that. There's an amazing company called Ripe.io, if people want to check, for example, a good example of blockchain utilized for agri-tech. Then CargoX company that I helped with their ICO. They're a logistics company. They're actually in shipping for many years, and they realized that if you want to ship a product from one side of the world to the other, the value of the shipment is equal to only to the paper that travels together with the document. Meaning that if this paper is lost, your shipment is worthless. And it's a paper thing now, in 2018. So they have revolutionized it by simply moving it to blockchain and using a blockchain smart bill of lading except of the paper one. So I think the possibilities are really endless, but the main constraints right now are in partnerships, in also in government, in companies that are willing to adopt these technologies. So.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is, what are the differences between the blockchain industry and IT industry? Well, you can continue if you want.
I would say speed, right?
Yeah, speed.
I would say
Because it's open source.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the internet was born around 1980s, and it took us maybe 20 years to get us the Facebooks and the Ubers. But blockchain technology, I feel like it's 10 times as fast, and a lot of new developments happening. So again, that might be a little bit intimidating for people, but have a little bit of the skin in the game, and you'll get more committed and more excited. So I think it's mostly excitement for me, but the speed is really fast. Yeah.
Great. Okay, and actually the next question is specifically for Midori-san. So it's, how are crypto exchanges made secure?
Oh.
Of course, it is very, very important to hire engineers who are very talented and with security technology. But the technology is changing, so we need to keep evolving. Is okay. Keep evolving to catch up the new technology. And I think, as you know, hackers are studying very hard. So they are creating new attack every day. So we need to study a lot about security, and we need to hire a lot of people for security team. And recently, I've heard that Coinbase is planning to come to Japan, and it is said that all 5% of employee is security engineer. And I agree their stance. So security is very, very important for crypto exchange. And most difficult thing is to secure private key. This is, I think, the most difficult thing, and this is a very different thing from other financial institutions. And so we are studying every day.
Thank you for the insights. And next, we will fade into the women empowerment questions. So number one is how to lead and trust in male-dominated industry and society. Anyone want to take the question?
So I think what I mentioned before is really important of what kind of people we surround ourselves with. I think many of us, also men and women, have faced many obstacles on our ways in careers. There was always something or somebody saying us, telling us no, or there were some obstacles that made us fail at certain things. And I think that's equal for all humans, not just for women. And I think the main way to do it is just not to care at some point when obstacles come your way, because we need to overcome some. If we face an issue and an obstacle that's based on stereotypes, I think we need to assess whether it's worth for us to try and overcome it, and whether it's possible to do that. And if not, then just look into something that's better for us. I'm saying that as an example. I started at an automotive company, and I changed my job later. I had a manager who was harassing not only me but also my male colleagues, and I didn't go with it. So I quit, and I found a job in a different company in the same industry, and I loved it. So I don't know, maybe that's my 5 cents on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Sarah, do you want to add anything to that?
I think also very important side is from the women's side, because in most of the case, if we, if women that if we see there four is men in the room, and probably from bottom of the side, women get afraid. This is this is men's world, not like women's. But the thing is, speaking about the career of the like industrial, it's more important with your ability, with your knowledge. And for the women, I would say you should have the courage to speak and to ask and also to participate. So actually, the opportunity outside is quite equal, but you should go fight for what you want. You should have the courage to do that. So I encourage all the women here, like, if you see they're full with guys in the room, don't be afraid, just speak out with your own opinion. So be creative for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Actually, that's also like the reason why we created like SheShaped in the first place, is we want to create a community of men and women that people feel comfortable to connect with, like mentors and supporters and collaborators. And personally, I think as a young woman, like I have a lot of male mentors, and I think it's really important to step outside your comfort zone and to reach out and to get mentored. And the second one is specifically for Eriko. How are inclusion and diversity important in blockchain innovation?
Yeah, I think innovation and blockchain, inclusion and diversity is so important because once innovation happens, you don't realize it, but innovation always happened in the fringes. Is my kind of personal philosophy. So Steve Jobs, he was a geek and he wasn't a programmer, but he created a beautiful product like Apple. And so innovation always happens within constraints and with different perspectives. So just as a business sense, I think it's very important to invest in diversity and inclusion. And also, for example, like I see ICO projects or crypto projects, for example, like Mom Life, which is a token for a mothering community. So it's an online community, millions of users globally, and they put videos and share content about mothering on the site, and they can monetize it because they're actually spending time and attention on it. So all these projects that perhaps would be overlooked because there's just somebody that's a little bit different from the rest of the investors are sitting in the seats, they have an opportunity. So I personally think it's really important. Yeah.
Beautiful. Does anyone else want to add to that? No? Okay. Moving on to the next question. How does it feel to shape your industry? What obstacles did you encounter that other women should know about?
With my talking, I'm the first marketing people. Our office is like full, with the tag of the product team. Most of them are the guys, so I'm the first to lead in the marketing team. And now we have around 6 people, but most of them are the women. For me, I think it's pretty exciting, especially about blockchain. We are in a very early stage. The technology is really exciting, but we also have the future is unknown, but in some cases, it's for me, like in my position, it's exciting, but still it's quite challenging. I have to keep like studying, keep knowing with the industrial, and to go out to meet amazing people. Otherwise, you are going to, you don't know about what happens outside, especially with blockchain. Every single day, compared with the traditional industrial, it's like 1 week. So it's exciting and quite challenging. That's what I'm going to say.
I don't know if I can add something. I would just like to say that what we're all facing are stereotypes, and I think stereotypes are often very dangerous. And if I want to just talk about blockchain, I found it funny when I worked on ICOs before with the guys in our team. We were laughing because actually during the ICO itself, I received 90% more of scam messages than the guys did, because the people on the Telegram thought that I'm an easy target. And I think that it's just one thing that women have to be aware of at all times, that stereotypes are present and it's very difficult to shake them. But it doesn't mean that they're gonna make us slower or, I don't know, strive less in a way.
Yes. Completely agree. And the next is, what is one quality that women need to have to make an effort in a male-dominated industry, such as the tech industry?
Just like one quality.
Yeah, it could be any.
For me, I think the confidence is quite important. It doesn't matter with what kind of industrial to be confident, is super important. Confidence could make you, but of course, before the confidence, they have many ways to go there. As I was mentioned before, through the industrial side, you have to know about the industrial. From your with your own knowledge outside of the technology, you have to, besides with this specific industry, you have to know, you should have the capability to contact with others. When people have the talk, you could join the talk, you could start the conversations with them. So this makes you to enrich your knowledge, and also especially like personal confidence, you could get through many ways. So to be confident, this could make you like just succeed.
Can I add to that? Actually, I just wanted to add, because recently we hear a lot of people talking about the difference between, again, I'm talking about boys and girls, but I've heard a lot, I've read some articles recently when they say that boys are raised to be brave and girls are raised to be perfect. And I think that really goes well with what Sarah said. We have to acknowledge that we don't have to be perfect, we just have to be brave. Sometimes, we have to be courageous to do things on our own. And I think this is the time for women to start changing the perception of ourselves. And I think that will help us.
Yes. Girl power.
Girl power always.
As I mentioned before my presentation, the most important thing is professionalism and have a deep understanding. And so, about myself, I'm not a technical person, and I'm not good at English, and I'm also not good at financial, no, zero. But I always try to go to meetup and talk to speak with people but English, and I try to last month I went to Israel, Singapore, New York and China, and so travel Singapore everywhere. So let's move and so meet people now, because it is very easy to meet talented person. For example, Zilla Abasa. We can meet in Tokyo, and so Rojabar and Vitalik. And so it is easy to contact you directly, and we can talk. So let's challenge, and so it is not so difficult to do that. So I want everyone to try to this kind of thing.
Can I just add one thing? Sorry, I'm just really amazed, because I just wanted to say that you're very brave to speak in English. Because I think that most people, especially in Japan, I work with a lot of speakers, and people in Japan are very resistant to speak in English. So coming here and this is what we see here, it's the courage. She comes here, she says, I'm not so sure about my English, I don't have background in finance and technology, but she rocks the stage here, so that's
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think all of the qualities that all the shapers address is really important. I think personally for me, so actually I work for a blockchain company called Swissborg since March. And honestly, 3 months ago, I had no idea what is blockchain. And I think that quality, in my own experience, it would be just to be eager to learn, because I had no idea. But personally, I'm a event producer and I'm a marketer, and I feel that professional skills, it could be applied to many things. In the past, I always say to people, selling Coca-Cola and selling bananas, same thing. And yeah, and then ever since I entered Swissborg, it just because it's a really small team, and people are really supportive and really eager to teach me. And then yeah, my mentor, like Alex, he would like quiz me like every day, and then to make sure like I learn something new. And then I think like now, like I'm not an expert, but I do understand like what it is, and I can pitch the project to people. I think it's just like always be, you know, open to learn new things, and be confident, and don't be afraid. Yeah. And the next question. So actually, the next question we received it from a lot of blockchain companies that are here today is how can I make the tech industry more accessible for women? Anyone?
Yeah, so I just
Personally, I think there are many geeks in blockchain company and blockchain virtual company. So, and I think Mai-chan and I like or love geeks.
Yeah, I love
So it is. I think it is very important skill to love geeks. So whether you can like geeks, it is very accessible situation as a blockchain and virtual currency company. A very comfortable situation for women, I think. There is no gender barriers, just there are geeks, I think.
Well said.
Can I continue that? I think it's the qualities that a good company possesses is just like you said, it's people like Alex. Hey Alex. Because also he, took time and explained you and brought you into the team. I think that's the most important thing. Being accessible, having also one thing that I often see, especially in blockchain with ICOs, their white papers are very complicated, and I think that doesn't only appeal to women who don't have background in blockchain, but to everyone. If you want to be inclusive, simplify things. Make sure that people feel welcome. I think that's kind of the main point in blockchain right now.
Thank you.
For me, I think besides what I totally agree with Una and also Maya says. But another one I want to end is about passionate. When you join the industry, you should have your own passionate. It's not about other people are doing that, so you just like follow. It's more about, do you feel that you want to be in this industry? Do you like this industry? Do you like the team? Do you like the person that you're working with? Could you imagine that after 1 year, what kind of like revolutions you want to be in this company? So you have to know and where's your passion about? Where's your passion comes from? And then you can, when you join, you can just like, you will create your own career. Yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anyone else? Eriko.
just concrete stuff, because you said this question came from the audience. So I would just say hire someone from this event today, right? Hire any of these women here, because the fact that they came here to this event shows already that they're really risk takers and they're able to network. And I think that shows a lot. And I think in these early industries, women or anybody who's interested and passionate show that they're risk takers and they're willing to learn fast, fail fast. So I would just say, just hire anyone from here and it'll be a great success and a start.
And just adding an advertisement here, so Swissborg is actually hiring, so if anyone's interested, please come talk to me later. And next question.
Sorry, Amber, can I just interrupt you?
Okay.
Zilla and Cargrex are hiring as well, so I think there are people from Zilla here. Everybody's hiring. So, yeah.
Everyone's hiring, please come talk to us.
My talking is hiring as well. So you're saying we need people.
Jobs everywhere.
Yes. And the next one, how does blockchain help gender equality?
I can see my phone, so I think I will start. The blockchain industry is like in a very earlier stage. They have outside there like tons of the great opportunities, tons of like great companies outside. I think this make good points because for men and women, if you like really get interested with the industry, if you believe you are with your background, and if you know like what you can bring to the company, and this is like what you can offer to this society, and this is like that is matter with how many work experience do you need, because everybody is quite new, because this industry is quite new. So it matters with do you want to join, and do you feel afraid with the new things or not? But guys, don't feel any afraid for that. Yeah.
I have actually a bit controversial thoughts, and I would say that actually, especially in blockchain, it's really important. It's all about makeup when it comes to ICO. And by that I mean that right now, with ICOs, especially when people have teams and when they put their products and then when they put their white paper on, most teams are really focusing on having a diverse team, and that doesn't go only for women. But I think that's one of the qualities that's represented. So even without knowing the content, I think for blockchain teams it's very important to have diversity. And on one hand, that's of course good. On the other hand, it's kind of controversial if women are added to these teams just because of numbers. But I thought I might point it out as well.
Yeah, I think on this one is that I think like this kind of emerging technologies, like definitely like a lot of early adopters will be big winners because it's so like early, right? And then if you like invest at the right timing, it creates a lot of big winners. I think it's important that like there are gender equality like in that, and I think I posted on Facebook before that emerging technology is a unique chance for women to like go to the top, and yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is a good a question for Eriko, because you work as a venture capital, so maybe how do you guys look at diversity, and what's the response from the teams that you got? Maybe you can share some insights on that.
I can yeah, so we definitely look at diversity, but it's not like, oh, we need a certain ratio, but it means that if people are able to hire women, that means they're very good at hiring people in general, right? So we want people that are good at hiring people fast and having a good network of trusted people. So that it's just a good sign for us that they're able to hire strong women. And also, just to help answer this question even more broadly, I think blockchain helps not only gender equality but racial equality or nationalities, like all of these remittance payments platforms building up in Africa, democratizing finance, banking for the unbanked. All of these are such exciting projects that blockchain really, these are the projects that I really love supporting, and I'm hoping that will become more and more. And I feel like if not only this question of number 6, but if you guys feel like there's any issue that you want to address in this world, it's very hard to change the status quo, but I think building new things is one way to do it. So build something completely new and get people liking that new system, and then you can disrupt the status quo. So I always look at it that way.
Thank you. And we would like to move on to the networking session soon, so we'll just discuss the last question. What are the women communities for blockchain in Japan?
Yeah, so I joined this community, this industry, blockchain industry, 2011, very long time ago. At that time, no woman, so only one or two, but today is wonderful. So I couldn't imagine women talk about blockchain and on the stage, and so there are many women. So it is very fantastic. So I'm very happy today. Thank you for organizing this very amazing event. So now, getting my friend. So some friends joined this meetup or event, and so getting bigger women community, I think.
Thank you. So on that note, I just want to explain a little bit about what's going to happen after the event for SheShaped, because this is beyond just one experience. It's a community. So actually, after 1 month of the event, we encourage every one of you here today to submit a short piece on what kind of project that you ended up working on after this event. And it could be a women empowerment cause, it could be a social innovation event, or it could be some kind of blockchain initiative. And the idea is that we want people to connect and collaborate, not just to meet each other. And then basically people who have done that, we will like have a exclusive dinner with the shapers and or to collaborate with SheShaped with our network. And I just want to like point it out. And thank you so much. The next we will move on to the networking session. And Douglas, please give a round of applause to all the shapers. And next, Douglas will explain the structure of the networking session.
One more round of applause for the shapers. All right. So, all of you, most of you, many of you, are wearing name tags, either pink or blue. Pink represents those who have projects, right? These lovely ladies definitely do. Talk to them if you're wearing a blue tag, okay? If you're wearing a blue tag, it means that you want to work on something, right? You have perhaps the time, the motivation to work on an initiative. So the way it should work is, blue tag, what do you do? Pretty simple, right? Pink, what do you want to work on? That's all it is. So for the rest of the night, up until about 8:30, please meet, greet, and collaborate. Thank you again.